So, according to my mother, Christians don't listen to secular music, Christians don't dance, and Christians don't go to parties. Unfortunately, this very specific Christian teenager wanted to go to prom. As a senior in high school, I had never been to any of the dances. No homecomings, no spring flings, no sock hops, nothing. And I think the only dance I've been to was in the 8th grade when it was held early enough in the afternoon that I could just catch the late bus home. My parents would be none the wiser. Basically, if my mother had been in that movie Footloose, it would have been 5 minutes long. So I thought I could talk my way into prom by using what I call the prom court loophole. What is the prom court loophole? Thanks for asking. To be on prom court meant that you were a finalist to be prom king or queen. So I thought if I made prom court, I can't not go to prom. What if I win? How am I going to accept my crown? I imagine how the conversation would go with my mom. Hey, Mom, I made prom court. What's that? It means I'm a finalist for prom king. Oh, that's outstanding, son. Let's get you a tux. And I'm going to lift the dancing embargo so you can boogie your way on down there and get your crown. So the results came in and I made prom court. And here's how the conversation actually went. Hey, Mom, I made prom court. Oh, cool, what's that? It means I'm a finalist for prom king. Oh, really? They could crown you king even though you're not going to prom? And it was the finality in her voice and the way she phrased a statement as if it were a question that just sent chills down my spine. So I decided to sneak to prom. Now, mind you, yes, I'm 18. Yes, I'm an adult. Yes, I'm on my way off to college, but that doesn't matter to Peggy Lee or Ronald Sr. They had no qualms about spanking an 18-year-old, and they were notorious over-punishers. One time, I got grounded for 2 months for being on the phone too late and then lying about it to avoid the spanking. So it kind of felt like with my parents, there was no getting around this. I mean, going to prom basically meant that if I got caught, it wasn't going to be a two-week timeout. My friends were actually afraid that they would not let me go to college. So this wasn't an easy decision to go to prom. Nevertheless, I shifted into the planning phase. I already had a car, so I didn't have to worry about transportation. Everybody in the senior class knew how strict my parents were, so nobody wanted to take the risk of going to prom with a guy who could possibly not show up, so I didn't have to worry about taking a date. I already had a hookup on a tux. Yes, I had a tux guy, and so I didn't have to worry about that. The only thing I did have to worry about was leaving the house physically. So my parents, they go to bed relatively early, so I wasn't really worried about that. But what I was worried about was before my dad went to bed every night, he always set the alarm. And so by setting the alarm, that means every single door had a chime on it. When you open it, beep, 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 every single time. So there's no coming and going without somebody knowing that you're in there. However, not all doors had a sensor. The one door in the basement did not, and it was connected to the room where I lifted weights and watched MTV, the fourth thing that Christians don't do. So, all I had to do was figure out how to get through this room without activating the sensor that was on the room, and then I could just get out the door. So thus began a series of trial and error. First, I put a sock on the sensor. That didn't work. Then I tried to move slowly and stealthily, and as you can see, stealth is not my forte. So that didn't work. Finally, I remembered that there was a function on the alarm called bypass that would just pop up every now and then because we don't know how to use the alarm. And I was like, okay, so with bypass, there must be a way to bypass this room and then I can go out the door. So I hacked into the system. And by hack, I mean used by process of elimination, found out what zone this was. It was zone 6. So I found out that by bypassing zone 6, I can get out the door. So there it is. I'm all ready. Night of prom is here. Downstairs lifting weights. Dad goes upstairs. I finish watching The Real World. I set the alarm to bypass. Head on up the stairs. I wait about 20 minutes, make sure they're asleep. I create an effigy of myself with a pillow at the top. Y'all watch sitcoms. Y'all know what's up. And then I make my escape. I creep to the door. I open. I walk down the hallway, past my parents' open bedroom, down the wooden staircase, down to the creaky step. They didn't hear me. So ease my way down to the second floor. I'm good. Then I can move a little quicker. I'm out of earshot. So I go down to the second floor, through the bypass door, and I'm free. I'm out. And I swear to you, the air smelled different. It smelled like grass and rain and freedom. And so as I drove the prom, I prayed a very specific prayer. I said, God, if you let me go to and from prom without getting in trouble, I promise I will never sneak out again. So I get to prom, I'm in my pajamas, I change out of them into my tux, stroll into the McLean Hilton, and I'm walking in with prom court. I got there just in time. So I walk in with them, and I didn't win prom king. However, my friends were there. What's up, Angelise? Oh, congratulations, Ronald. Oh, Sherry. Hey, it's getting hot in here. Hey, I did not take off all my clothes. I was at enough risk already, so I didn't want to play that game. And looming in the back of my mind during all this fun was I got to sneak back into the house. So prom ended. I said all my goodbyes. The lights went down. I changed back into my pajamas. I drive all the way back to the house. And I get out of the car and I look at the house. It looks peaceful. Nothing, seems like we're gonna be all right. Okay. So I creep up to the door. I walk in. Bypass is still set. I'm good. Go up to the second floor. Go up to almost to the third floor. I'm up to the third step. I stop again. I thought I heard something. Didn't hear anything. They're still breathing. I'm like, okay, cool. It's just they're asleep. Creep past their door, all the way back to my room, laid down, went to sleep. God had answered my prayer affirmatively, and I never snuck out again. Thank you.